Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video and another episode of my F1 2019 career mode here today for round number 4 of the season, episode 5 in total for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix here at Baku. And if you guys missed the last episode or any of the episodes in the series so far, there's a link to the full playlist in the top right hand corner of your screen and also a link down below in the description. So go check that out before we jump into any further spoilers. Now for this episode, you can see straight away we have our first glimpse of rain this season. And we've got a rain-soaked qualifying on our hands coming our way very soon. First of all, though, for this race, we've got some more upgrades for the car. In this case, we've got 2 reliability upgrades and 1 for the aerodynamics, which actually failed in the last race. So a little bit of a performance upgrade here, but mainly we're looking at reliability improvements for the car for this race. And that's going to be the focus going forward, I think. Going forward, I think the car needs some work. But in terms of the R&D graph here, we're actually pulling away from Mercedes a little bit there. And we make some more ground and some more advantage over them in this race, as Red Bull also push on with their development, and further down, nobody else really bringing any major upgrades to this race. So yeah, with that being said, all things are looking pretty damn good here as we now jump into practice on Friday, and the session in itself was dry, and I will admit this race is also on 110% AI, and I can tell you guys it will probably be the last one because the AI are very strong in this year's game. And I've done Australia, I've done Bahrain, I've done China, and now I'm doing Baku, and more or less the consistency is more or less there, and I just can't seem to get anywhere near a win or a pole with 110. So we're probably going to cut it down a little bit after this race and probably go down to like 108 is what I'm looking at. So yeah, we're going to see how we get on this weekend, and straight away you can see we managed to do the track acclimatization and the race strategy, and we found the qualifying pace because the actual delta that was set for me was way too quick. Like we was over a second off, so it was literally impossible for me to achieve that practice program. With that being said though, we now move into Saturday here, and like I said before, with the monsoon conditions, it's an absolute downpour here at Baku on Saturday, and the rain is showing no signs of letting off over this entire session. It's going to be a completely rain-soaked Q1, Q2, Q3 with the extreme wet tyres, so it's going to be a big challenge. Our first time racing any kind of laps in the wet conditions, so it's going to be a big challenge, a big unknown for us, and we're going to have to kind of learn on the fly. The problem with this is, because it's a wet Q1, Q2 and Q3, if we were to go all the way, we only have 3 sets of wet tyres over a Grand Prix weekend, so we're going to have to be very efficient and very calculated and very clever the way we use our tyres, because I need to practice as well. There's no way of practicing these wet conditions unless you actually go on track and do it. So on my first set, it's going to be kind of a mixture of trying to learn the track and trying to practice, but also try and find the pace, and it's going to be a big challenge. But nonetheless, let's jump into the qualifying. There you saw Sebastian Vettel a moment ago, and he's a championship leader, I believe, at the moment, and also Lucas Weber there in the Red Bull. But now we're going to move into qualifying here. So let's jump into it, and let's see how we go. Straight away in Q1, of course, on the full wet tyres here, currently through Sector 1, and we're already a second down on my own teammate. Really just not much I can say. The laps were okay. The pace for me was good, but relative and compared to the AI, it was pretty poor. They were really quick around here, the AI, and they're a little bit OP around here, just like they were last year. So as you can see, currently now through Sector 2 is still a long way off, as they were all sideways and just struggling to get the traction down. And now through the chicane here, and we have to take a big lift and take it very easy there. But then we hit the wall. Luckily, no damage done, but we hit the left rear quite heavily there against the wall. But we're going to end our first lap, and by any means, it's not going to be a spectacular lap time as we cross the line, and we are going to go P11. Still 2.1-ish off the pace, not great, and a lot of time to be found. But having said that, it was actually my best lap in Q1. I tried to go again on another run on the same set, and to be fair, it wasn't that bad. We started off okay, and we found a bit of time, a little bit scruffy on the exit there through turn 1, but then down towards 2, I found some more time here. Again, that apex beautifully on the power nice and early, and now onto the back straight here. And we're racing down towards turn 3 with about 45 seconds left on the clock. It's looking pretty damn good, but then we made a mistake here, and we got too hot on the brakes, and went straight on there. Big lock up, and I couldn't get the car turned in, so we went straight on and just pretty much switched her off and called it a day there for the session. We went through in P12 in the end, so overall that first lap was good enough, but still 2.2 off the pace, really poor. And it wasn't, compared to Mercedes or Red Bull, it was compared to my own teammates. So we had to find time, and in Q2, I went for pretty much the same kind of philosophy, lots of different runs and just trying to see different lines and stuff. And my first benchmark was okay, but then we went out again, and my second lap was not too good either. And yeah, I was kind of up against it here. We're currently P12, and I need to pull one out of the bag. So as you can see, this lap here was going to be my third lap on this set of tyres, and pretty much my all or nothing lap because we've got no more time left. So we're currently P12. We need to try and find some more time here, and we had a good run through 1 and 2, found some lap time, then through sector 1 here you can see towards the end we managed to find some more lap time, and things are looking pretty good here as we now go in towards the end of the lap here. And as you can see, sector 2 now, we're going to take it nice and easy over that curb and then nice and smooth on the traction application here as we go down the hill towards this left-hander. And to be fair, this was a better lap. We're still a long way off the top, which is concerning, but we are up on our previous best, and we're now down to P15 here. In the meantime, everyone's pushed us down, and we've lost a lot of time, and we've actually dropped down to last place in Q2, so we're up against it here, and we've got to try and pull something out the bag. And here we go then, it's all straight to the line, using overtake ERS to maximise straight line speed here, along with max engine mode. Let's see though if it's going to be enough as we come across the line. Do we improve on P15? And I believe we do improve. Just the question is where to, and we actually get P10, so we sneak into P10 there, and we sneak into Q3. So overall, under pressure, we managed to deliver a pretty okay lap time there, and the Sebastian Vettel you can see there around P5. So yeah, that session was better, but still a long way off the pace. And in Q3, Seb was actually sent the benchmark here, and I went out for one run on a fresh set of tyres, and it wasn't great. I can't lie. We'll stay on board for the whole lap, and you know the lap in itself, I'll say it wasn't great. It was a decent lap for me for what it felt like. It wasn't perfect because there was a lot of mistakes and moments, but it still felt like a decent lap. But the way we did it, the wheel spin, the corrections, and the instability overall just led to us losing a lot of time to the AI. You can see here currently sector 1 has been okay, pretty tidy, no mistakes here, no real big moments, nice and smooth on power, no lockups, nothing at all. But then through sector 1, we're still a long way down on Seb there. We're literally 9 tenths down. I can't quite make it out on my little screen there, but we've lost so much time there without doing a single mistake in sector 1, which was a little bit concerning. But it was kind of the story of the weekend. The AI was just too quick in qualifying. Then down towards this next right-hand, a big lock-up on the way in, but luckily we get the car rotated, and now we go up towards the castle section here, taking it very easy on turn in here, and then let the car just coast through, then down a little bit of speed for the right, and then open up the left as much as you can, and then try and get the power as soon as possible, and being very smooth and progressive on the traction. But we still get a bit of wheel spin there in 4th gear, which was a little bit worrying. But then through the kink, a big moment there again at high speed, and now we go down the hill with this tricky left in. It's all about just clipping the inside curb, but we have a huge lock-up, carry it all the way through, and then lose the back end on exit. And at this point, the lap is really falling apart. And you can see now through sector 2, we are a long way off anywhere near P1, like over 3 seconds. I mean, it's absolutely insane. Like, I know we made a few mistakes, but 3 seconds is a ridiculous margin. And of course, once you commit to qualifying and start qualifying, you can't change the difficulty, because if I could, I would have gone down to 108 for the race, unfortunately for us. So we're going to have to stick with 110 for this, and up to the line, then let's see what we do, and do we set any kind of representative lap time? And no, we don't. It's a 156, they're a really poor lap. And to be fair, like in Q2 we did a 154, so it wasn't even my own best lap, to be honest. It was really poor. And then yeah, we just gave up on our second attempt because I just didn't have the pace and I was down. So overall, a poor quality. Vettel gets pole, and we're going to start the race in P10, so not ideal, but we are going to get free tyre choice, so hopefully we can try and turn it around in the race tomorrow and try and make something happen. But overall, a contrasting infortunes for qualifying for both of the Ferrari cars, with both Mercedes and Red Bull sprinkled in between. But with that being said, guys, that is your grid for the race tomorrow in Azerbaijan, which will thankfully be dry and not wet. So let's see how we get on then and try and turn this P10 into a better result. It's time for round number 4 for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix here in Baku, and fingers crossed we could try and finish the race higher than 10th.
Are you hoping to have your reliability issues sorted out before qualifying? You left a lot of paint on the walls. The weather hasn't been ideal in qualifying. It looks like you've really been focusing on research and development this season. Well, thanks anyway.
Good afternoon and welcome to Baku. This was the arena, if you think back to 2017, of one of the most eventful races of modern history, with controversy behind the safety car, last-second overtakes, and a historic podium for Williams and for Lance Stroll. So let's find out what lies in store for us this year. It's time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Baku City Circuit then, an unpredictable 3.7-mile track around the streets of the Azerbaijan capital. 20 turns for our drivers to navigate today, including the infamous Turn 8, one of the tightest and most challenging corners of the season. Joining me for the Grand Prix once again is Anthony Davidson. Let's start by discussing Robert Kubica. As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Butler, Verstappen, Nico Hülkenberg and Perez, Magnussen, Grosjean, Martinez and Daniel Ricciardo, Norris, Sainz, Kimi Raikkonen and Faber, Kvyat, Stroll, Alexander Albon and George Russell. Giovinazzi and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, then here we are for the race at Baku, round number 4 of the season. And the question is, can we try and have a good race and try and see if we can actually beat our result in China? Because the last couple of races have been a bit of a struggle, and we've kind of gone downhill. We got 3rd in Australia, and then of course 4th in Bahrain and 5th in the last race in China. So can we try and stop the kind of run, not finish 6th today, and try and finish back inside the top 4 or something like that to try and improve our form a little bit? We do need the points. We're up against it a little bit, and the team is putting the pressure on. So we need to get a result here, and for that, obviously, everybody's going to have a free choice of tyre. I'm guessing everyone's going to go for the medium and then for the hard. So there's not much we can do in terms of strategy today. It's going to all come down to just raw pace and making the correct overtakes. In terms of fuel, we're going to be 1.5 laps over, a little bit heavier. And also, I've actually reduced the rear wing a little bit, just to have a little bit more straight line speed. So we're going to see how we go. So yeah, guys, let's jump into it. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we could try and have a good race here today. It's time for round 4 for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Right, here we go. The 5 red lights come on here at Baku. Lights out and away we go. Long 5 lights, but we're finally underway. I'm going to try and get to the inside, but someone makes their move, and it's 3 wide. There's contact. Grosjean sideways. We're going to get back underneath Perez there. Ricciardo was the one with the aggressive start. We're going to take the inside line here and try and shove that Racing Point car wide. There we go. Make a tweak to the brake bias, get up to 56. As we're looking pretty comfortable here. No need to use a high ERS mode as we make our way down towards turn 3 for the first time here. Ricciardo getting the best start out of everybody. Very fast start there from the Honey Badger. I'm going to try and go down the inside though and send one on the Renault. It's a late move. I think I might have just put him in the wall there a little bit, so I do apologise. But unlike last year's game, there's no rule end plates for the car to lose, so Ricciardo should be okay to continue as we retake that position from him. So we're now 8th place. Good start from us, good progress. Making up 2 places on the start here, on the slower tyre. Kind of like Bahrain where we had a good start on the slower tyre as well, so good stuff so far. Now we've got to try and find our pace and keep up with everybody in front of us and readapt to the dry conditions as well, which is not easy.
Strong start. Well done.
Cheers, Jeff. Right, let's get head down now and see if we can try and keep up with Grosjean's slipstream. Is going to be key around here, so let's try not to lose it. Magnussen's making a move here. He did start on the soft tyre, so he's gone a bit more aggressive than his teammate. As Grosjean's on mediums and he's making a move on the Renault. As Seb's still P1, setting the pace out front, which is good to see. 3 wide here though, look at this.
Keep it up.
This ain't going to end well for someone. Both for the Haas cars and the Renault. Hülkenberg. Looks like Magnussen is going to get that position. Hülkenberg and Grosjean side by side into turn 2. They're both going to be compromised here. Can we get a little double overtake here? Trying to get that slipstream. We're going to pull to the inside of Hülkenberg. Very last minute move. Going to take the inside line here. Grosjean, very strange line there from the Haas driver. He's compromised. He's on the inside line here. We're going to try and go around the outside of the Haas. Can we take it? I think it's close. We're side by side still.
Green flag.
I'll take the inside for the next right though. And there we go. Job done. I think Grosjean lost out. Something happened there because he's dropped back. I'm not really sure. But either way, we're P6 now. So there we go. That's a good start from us. Very good overtakes. Very calculated. And job done. Now we've got to try and see if we have any pace to actually leave these guys behind, because I feel like I haven't got great pace around here, so it's going to be a challenge to try and shake him off, but we'll give it our best shot and see what we can do. The 5 guys in front of us have already pulled away so much, so we've got so much work to do in this race already. Okay then, so Lewis setting the pace as Hulkenberg is in my slipstream. He's not got too much speed. Ricardo is going to actually go to the inside, and Hulkenberg goes right across, defending the inside.
Will be available to use when you are within 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS zone.
Ricardo's absolutely done his teammate there. That was a little bit scary for me because I thought, I've seen it before where the AI go a little bit too deep, lock up, and they take you out. Luckily though, it wasn't the case for me. Pretty average exit there. Ricardo's going to get the run with DRS here, so we're going to have to be careful. We're going to turn up the engine. Hopefully that's enough. No, Ricardo still sends one nonetheless. We're going to go a long way around here and keep him behind. There we go. This is the problem now with this circuit. Slipstream is so powerful, it's really hard to open up a gap. I'm going to floor it here and see how much straight line speed we have. I wonder if we can shake off Ricardo and break the DRS. I think he's a bit too close. That's the detection point there. I think he's going to have DRS just. But having said that, he's in a battle, so that's good news for us. My ERS is very low, so we need to try and save some here if we can. But luckily, we're not under pressure as Raikkonen makes a move. Raikkonen also...
Really good. You're managing it well.
KIMI also running the soft tyres like Magnussen, so he's going aggressive early on, and he's now battling for Ricardo, so here's our chance to break away if we can. So let's try and pull away from the Alpha. Looks like KIMI has good pace. He's pulling away from Ricardo. He's going to be within my DRS, and I think it's going to kind of chain everybody along, so no one's going to actually miss out on DRS. I mean, it might be close with KIMI. My gut tells me he's still got it, although to be fair, he looks a little bit far away, so he might have just missed out. We're going to set pretty much almost a personal best. We match our best laps.
Lost some time to the car behind.
Yeah, don't worry, Jeff. I know that. Hopefully, KIMI's softs will start to fade. They weren't meant to last very long, you know, when I looked in the strategy menu. Hence why I didn't go for them, so hopefully they'll start to fade. I feel good at the minute. The car feels good, and I've got a good balance. I'm quite happy with how it's handling at the minute, so hopefully it stays like this for the rest of the race. Okay, KIMI's definitely within range this time. I don't really have that much ERS, so I want to try and not use it if I can avoid it. I'm going to show KIMI don't worry around. Ricardo's getting the big toe. KIMI around the outside, and he's got it done. I can't really fight him on the brakes. Hopefully we can just slot him behind and take the toe. Let's check it nice and easy through here, keep it nice and tidy. There we go, open up DRS. We'll use the rich mix to close the gap. But to be fair, I'm not disappointed if KIMI does get away from us. KIMI does lock up there, but no dramas. Hopefully we can just follow him. You're better off following somebody around this track than being in front. And I can save the ERS that way. Okay then, so we've kept up with KIMI quite easily and saved up a nice bit of ERS. We'll keep it in low as we go through the chicane. Rich mix enabled to try and have a good straight line speed, and there we go. We can now just keep it in none. Ricardo's not close enough, so we'll get a nice natural toe, and there we go. We'll probably get past him even without turning up the ERS mode as we keep it in none. Here we go. We're going to power past the Alpha and retake that position. Thank you very much. As we've got cars in the pit lane, I believe. A little bit hot into turn one there, a little bit of lag taken into effect. That was Kevin Magnussen in the pit lane, and he's also on the soft tyres, as we know, so KIMI shouldn't be too far away from pitting. So momentarily we're up to P5. Good exit from us. We should be okay now. I don't think KIMI's going to challenge us into the next corner. We've got a good bit of traction there. Okay, we're leaving KIMI behind here. This is a good chance for me to open up a little bit of a gap to those on the mediums. And I believe one of the Red Bulls has caught up to Ricardo and KIMI, so it's important to pull away and keep that Red Bull behind. Okay, KIMI pits in. That's going to release Ricardo.
Ahead is 16.5 seconds.
And that Red Bull as well. Good thing is that we're cleared of DRS and we've got a nice gap to the Renault. Good pace on a personal best lap here, a couple of personal best sectors. Starting to find some pace in the car, and I'm starting to find a different way of driving the circuit using the high gears, and it seems to be working for me at the minute as Ricardo is about to be overtaken by Lucas Webber in the Red Bull. So those two are going to be having a little bit of a battle hopefully, which will allow me to pull the gap out even more. But right now we're looking good for P5 here, minimum P5 if we keep this going. Personal best.
Okay, gap ahead is 9.4 seconds.
Lucas Webber makes the move on Ricardo. Hopefully Ricardo can return the favour on the next straight.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the hards.
Good to hear as Ricardo and Webber are still going at it. We pretty much match our personal best, and my pace at the minute is very strong, very consistent, which is what I want. Let's try and keep it going that way, and this is what I want to be by myself, no slipstream from behind, just doing our own thing. We're a little bit too far back though from the top 4 to really challenge this race, so kind of hoping something happens.
We're trailing our teammate by 17.5 seconds.
Yeah, we're not competing against Vettel today. Another personal best from us. On the cusp of a 1:43, we're pushing the lap times there, but at the minute I'm loving this. Is the best the car's felt all weekend, and probably the best it's felt since Bahrain, to be honest, so I'm really enjoying this at the minute. Okay, Lucas Webber has now opened up a gap that's over a second to Ricciardo, so he's now out of Ricciardo's DRS, so that battle is done.
Box, we're coming in this lap. Okay, some information on Sainz. They're retiring from the race.
Okay, so we're scheduled to pit in this lap as Carlos Sainz retires from the Grand Prix at the same time. So the first retiree of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Will that trigger a safety car or VSC? It seems like it won't. Good thing is we've got a nice gap to Lucas Webber now, so hopefully we can serve the pit stop and not get distracted. Right. Not the best in lap, but you know what? It was a good stint overall. Into the pit lane. Nice and easy. Slow it down. There we go. I'll take that. That's a strong entry. And Webber doesn't come in, so hopefully don't get held up here.
Go.
Let me go, let me go, let me go, let me go. No, 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 no. I can't get these pit exits. What is going on with the jack? I hate how long it takes to get away. I'm pretty sure I shifted gear at the perfect time. I don't like this at all. We've lost about 2 seconds there, which is not great.
No more scheduled pit stops.
We could have come out in front of a few of these cars that we've had to rejoin behind, including Kimi Räikkönen, so that's not ideal. Alright then, up to speed again then. We're going to lose a lot of ground to Lucas Webber as well once he pits, if he has a good in-lap, so we've got it all to do and a lot of cars to pass. We've got Kimi here battling George Russell. Let's try and close down the gap here and try and get a double overtake. Kimi is on the medium, so he's going to have the tyre pace on me, but I don't think it'll be as drastic as before when he was on the softs. Let's use some ERS there to try and close in a little bit as Kimi, I think, hit the wall there. We're gaining into tow though. Russell wants to pit in, so he pulls over. I'm pretty sure he does anyway. Yeah, he pits in, but we've got the run on Kimi here. We'll wait for now. Kimi does go defensive, but we'll wait. There's Lucas Webber leaving the pit lane, so only just in front of him, or not quite. He's on the inside. He's going to try and put me in the wall. We're just going to stay in front though. He's got DRS though, so it's going to be a drag race between us and the Red Bull. Come on. Come on. Uh-oh. Right on the outside. Possible. Close. Squeeze. Oh my god. He's on the outside now. Sorry, Sonny Jim, but you're not going around the outside there.
Just fitted the hard tyres. Car behind, running hards.
Damn, what a shame. So much progress in that first stint, and all because of that delayed jack pull away. Again, we get screwed over. That's just not what I wanted. And now we've got to try and pull away again. Hopefully we can use Kimi as a way to open up a gap. Putting Kimi under some serious pressure now. Putting Kimi under some serious pressure here, and we actually pull away from Lucas Webber a little bit in that middle sector. Hopefully we can pass Räikkönen and say goodbye and not get re-overtaken. Keeping it in none as well, saving as much ERS as I can because we might need that to pull away / defend potentially later on in the race. So we're going to enter the final 10 laps. We're going to keep it in non ERS mode here because we don't need to do much in terms of gaining here. We've already got a nice tow on Kimi. Webber is close, but here we go then. Nice tow on Räikkönen. We're going to crank up to rich mix. And now we're going to get the DRS. Ooh. Max Verstappen's out of the race. Let's pass Kimi before the yellow flag zone.
Next part of the track, no overtaking through the yellow flags.
A little bit hot there, but we're going to just pass Kimi before the yellow flag zone. Critical overtake.
Green flag.
So we're net P4 in theory. I don't think Magnussen's going to the end on those tyres. He'd have to stop again because he started on the softs. So we could be finishing P4 this race. Let's just stay in front of Kimi here if we can. And there we go, job done. And Kimi stayed in front of Webber as well. So now we can try and open up a gap if we can. Good middle sector on for a personal best. Lucas Webber down the inside at that left-hander. Not the sort of place you'd overtake normally. That's going to literally drop them way below a second. And I'm going to pull away and then I'm going to get DRS on me. And also Kimi actually stayed in front. So that's good news for us. Let's try and burn out some fuel here as we enter the final 10 laps of the Grand Prix. And let's see if we can try and get that P4. I'm hoping Magnussen pits in. He should do, as will Kimi. So, personal best.
Teammate ahead is 28.2 seconds.
And there we go, then into the mid-43s now as Lucas Webber does make the move. Hopefully KIMI can try and re-overtake on this back straight and prolong the battle a little bit. Lucas Webber picking up the pace. He's cleared KIMI and now he's on the hunt. I'm on for another personal best here and 2 tenths up through sector 2. But Lucas is just too quick. I think he's got too much pace, so we're going to have to defend and keep him behind for the rest of the race. Like we did with Verstappen at Bahrain. As Kevin Magnussen pits in. So here we go.
Magnussen is stopping now.
We are going to get that P4. Momentarily at least. Our straight line speed ain't as great around here as it has been, so we can get overtaken on the straights by the Red Bull. But at the minute, we're P4. Hopefully we can finish that. I really do. Another personal best. I'm keeping Lucas Webber outside of a second, which is good. I'm doing my bit. I've got to try and do that for the rest of the race.
We think we may see some rain. ETA is about 15 minutes.
Rain, okay, fair enough. I'm pushing here, still going as much as I can in terms of pace. I think both myself and Webber are about equal pace now. And I'm just keeping him out of a second gap, just. But I think he is going to eventually get DRS, but I'm on the limit, I can't go any faster than this. This is the fastest I've gone all weekend, I haven't got any more pace to give, so we'll see what we do. Another personal best, 43.2. And there's a track extension, first one of the Grand Prix, although that was so marginal. Ooh, that's a bit of a slippy rear, don't want that. Poor lap from us. That start of the lap was quite scruffy and it kind of carried all the way through. So Webber's definitely going to have DRS this lap. I'll be shocked if he doesn't. When you can see the name tag, that's normally a sign that they've got DRS. So he's going to start to close in. He won't be challenging me, I don't think, on the next lap, but maybe the one after, maybe. We'll see. At the minute, they were looking okay. He's actually barely gaining on me on the straight, so that's good to see. Another good lap from us, on for a personal best. Lucas Webber's really close this time. We're going to have to defend a little bit. I'm going to keep it in medium ERS mode. I'll let Lucas go to the right hand side because he's pulled out of my slipstream very early, so let's see what happens.
Stay with him, he might make a mistake. We could still regain the position.
Oh, that's close, but we're going to just hold on. Just about enough room. Going narrow into turn 1 like that is not what you want to do. But we do stay in front of Lucas Webber. He seems like he's turned the engine mode up. Hopefully we can continue to stay in front, although he's going to be on me again here. We're going to might have to go defensive. Will he get close enough? I don't think he will. We stay in front for at least another lap, but the pressure's starting to really build now. Good second sector there. We've pulled out a nice gap to Webber this time. He won't challenge me. We're actually pulling away a little bit, so that's good to see. Very strong end to the lap. 4 to go. Another great second sector. And we open up a gap to 1 second, so I don't even think Lucas Webber will have DRS this time. I wonder if he's given up. I think maybe he used up the last of his engine mode when he tried to challenge me before into turn 1. And I think he's run out of stuff to give in terms of tools. I think he's dry. I think he's done. Let's try and secure this though. 3 to go. Just realised my ERS is extremely low. I've been so focused on trying to pull away that I've completely chewed up through my ERS consumption. So I need to save that ASAP. Gap is still above 1 second. I'm going to use Rich Mix here to make sure I'm not exposed. Even with none ERS, I should be okay. I should have enough straight line speed, and there we go, we do have enough, so we're going to try and keep it in none as long as possible. If I can save up the entire battery, that'd be great, because then I could try and deplete it afterwards and try and pull away.
Ahead is 31.5 seconds.
Gap actually 1.2, actually went up on that straight, even with none in the ERS mode. Here we go then. Lucas is going to re-engage. So, we're going to make sure he's unsuccessful. We're going to crank up the engine here. This is what we saved the battery for. And look at that, we're just pulling away. Pulling away. Let the battery burn down to 50%. Not even 50, we can just turn down now. There we go. And we'll have just enough.
Final lap of the race.
Just enough for the same straight at the end of this lap. A little bit sideways there as Hamilton wins. Vettel does pick up the fastest lap, so he's going to pick up the extra point on the last lap of the Grand Prix there, so that's good news for him. Hamilton will take the championship lead for the first time, but Vettel's going to make sure he stays within range with that extra point.
A lap of fuel now. The tank is empty.
Let's just keep it nice and tidy through here now. There we go. Let's crank her up one last time. We'll keep it in standard through here, and then we'll go rich one more time. We should be okay, but just want to secure it. There we go. Overtake mode of rich mix engaged. Lucas Webber will try but he will probably foul. Here we go then, up to the line, burning up every single last bit of engine power we have. Can we set a personal best across the line? Either way, here we go. We come home P4 in Azerbaijan, and I'll take that. I will absolutely take that.
Take care of the car on the way in.
Indeed. Grazie ragazzi. Grande lavoro. Grande macchina.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
That was a good race for Lucas. Are you pleased to see him doing well? Do you think you were lucky not to end your race with that crash? Well, thanks anyway.
Right, so here we have the final race results from Baku. Lewis Hamilton wins 3/10 ahead of Sebastian Vettel. That's why Vettel got the fastest lap. He had a fantastic toe down the straight and almost got Hamilton on the line there. Those two are going at it so fiercely this season. It's so good to see. Devon Butler again P3, and then 41 seconds behind we finish in P4, Lucas Webber P5, and then we got Magnussen, Ricciardo, Grosjean, Stroll and Kvyat running out the top 10, and Max Verstappen of course retiring from the Grand Prix. Disappointing from us. I'm going to see how we get on at Spain, because if it keeps on like this I might have to reduce the difficulty, because obviously 110 is a bit too hard for me, so we'll see how we go. Traditionally Bahrain and Baku have been tricky races, and overall the race pace has been a lot better than the qualifying pace. But with that being said, we're still a long way away, and I still don't feel comfortable in this game. I still feel like I'm trying to understand how the cars work, which is quite weird. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. But the handling model definitely a bit more of a surprise and a bit more of a learning curve than I expected it to be. Either way though, after that race, in terms of the driver's standings, let's have a little look and see how things shape up. As there we go, then Hamilton leads the way. He's 5 points clear of Sebastian Vettel. Seb of course bringing home the fastest lap with the extra point, and we're still P4. 5 points behind Devon Butler, so that can change just like that in one race, so we're still in amongst it. Lucas Webber as well, he's P5, only 9 points behind me, so we're all pretty damn close there. And then Max Verstappen is P7, so he's still struggling a little bit, and actually Kevin Magnussen is ahead of him. In terms of the constructors though, we drop back a little bit further to Mercedes now. We're 10 points behind after that race. It was 1 point going into this race, it is now 10 as we head into the European season. But yeah, speaking of which guys, we don't have any upgrades for the European season. We did our upgrades in the last couple of episodes, so we go into Catalonia with the exact same car as this episode. If you did enjoy the video though guys, drop a like and get subscribed for daily Formula 1 content, and turn on notifications so not miss a video from me. Finally, check out these two videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that guys, thank you for watching this episode of Career Mode, and I'll see you on my next one very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.